Welcome to Keep Trucking Personal, where we invite you to explore the heart and soul of our company, Kivi Bros Trucking. Through engaging storytelling, insightful market updates, and vibrant energy, our podcast reflects our culture, values, and achievements. Whether you're a team member or industry enthusiast, join us to build connections, foster growth, and inspire excellence. Discover why we're more than just a company. We're a community, a catalyst for positive change, and a home for those aspiring to be part of something extraordinary. The pre-trip is complete and engines ready. We're set to hit the road on the Keep Trucking Personal podcast. Let's go.
Wow, that was a good intro. I'm excited to be here, guys. My name is Tyler Kivi, and welcome to Keep Trucking Personal podcast. This is brand new. This is something that's been in the works for a long time, at least a year. I've been passionate about trucking and really wanted to bring this opportunity to everyone that's involved, whether you're a truck driver, your back office, dispatch, or an industry affiliate. One way or another, this podcast has something for you. We really want to make sure that we're passionate about the people that keep America moving. We want to involve their stories, the good, the bad, the in-between, and make sure that everyone gets a piece out of this. I decided to do this podcast for many reasons, but the most important to me was trucking runs deep in my family. It goes from my uncles to my grandpas to my cousins to pretty much both sides of my family has someone that's involved in trucking one way or another. So it's a big passion for me to explain what this means to us, what we do, what Kivi Bros Trucking is all about, how we make ourselves unique compared to this industry of thousands of trucking companies, and what we can do to keep trucking personal in an industry that is emerging with technology, to keep it as simple as one-on-one, person-to-person. A little bit about myself. First of all, I grew up in trucking. I've never had a different job. It's been trucks or bust for me. That's all it's been my whole life. So my career started when I was right around 12. My mom was a firm believer. You have to work. You have to do something to earn your keep. And that started with working in our shop. So although I don't believe I was very beneficial at 12 years old, I still pushed a broom around and filled little boxes full of wire connectors and nuts and bolts, and probably pissed a lot of people off. But for me, it was a great introduction. So I moved from 12 years up until about 15 when I could drive the truck. And that I remember clear as day that first time when they said, well, you can drive it forward, but you got to learn how to back up. And in our backyard at our office in Duluth, we set cones up. And I remember that was the most nerve-wracking thing, being that young, given that big truck and trailer and the opportunity to try back it in between these cones. And I spent a day or two trying to get that mastered. And then I accomplished that. And that meant I could start washing trucks because I could pull them in and back them out. And that was my next venture. Every weekend, one of my good friends and I washed trucks. So worked in the shop during the week, washed trucks on the weekend. And then I turned 18. Once I turned 18, I was able to get that CDL and the chains came off, and I was able to transport freight from Minnesota and Minnesota only, because you're not allowed to leave the state. So got my CDL, did that until I was 21. Then I was fortunate enough to take some cross-country trips. And that's where I learned a lot about what it means to be an over-the-road truck driver, what kind of impact that has, how hard it is to do it, and really got the taste of what we do. Some of my unique stories, just while I was able to drive cross country, was a trip to Alaska. I took a load from Houston, Texas, all the way to Prudhoe Bay, Alaska. That trip's something I'll never forget, just because it was so intense. Once we got into Canada, we weren't even halfway there. The roads were icy. It was freezing fog, if you can believe it. And it was in the middle of January, so it was cold. And when we got up to Alaska, the roads were so treacherous that, still thinking about it to this day, it was like, how did we make it? Because we weren't experienced, and those guys and gals up there that do that every day were well-versed, and they could see it in us that we didn't have the experience, but we got it done. And that's just something I'll never forget, that unique trip. Nonetheless, I was driving for a short stint, and then our insurance actually said that I wasn't old enough. So my Uncle Mark came to me and said, hey, you need to come into the office or the shop because you're not old enough. Insurance doesn't like it. So even I had to play the insurance game throughout my career. So then I came into the office and started learning how to dispatch with Derek as he was my mentor throughout that process. And that was fun. Did a lot of different LTLs, learned what it meant to consolidate freight, learned what it meant to just book a load, learned what it meant to do sales with a customer, learned how to go to lunch with a customer and try to get them to give you more business. So that was just a wealth of knowledge, and I learned a lot there. And then fast forward to 2017, we had the opportunity to buy my uncles out. A well-deserved opportunity for them. And Derek, I, and Dakota did that. And now the third generation of trucking is here. So we have a lot to tell you if you can't tell. And the history runs deep and it's thick. Kivi Bros Trucking specifically is an open deck carrier. We move freight coast to coast all the way up into Alaska and Canada. And we move a lot of machinery, building products, steel, lumber, you name it, we move it. We also have a heavy haul department that moves extremely large machinery, extremely large mining equipment, construction equipment, the big cool stuff that everybody wants to see or get their opportunity. That's an exciting division that every week proves something bigger can be moved, and it's exciting to be a part of it. And they're always chasing that next opportunity. So Kivi Bros Trucking itself, very versed, lots of opportunities, and I'm excited to tell you about everybody that works in and along with us. So what does that mean going forward? We're going to interview drivers, non-drivers, affiliates, shippers, industry experts, manufacturers. I hope to bring you an in-depth story from all angles of the trucking industry. I also hope to tell you market updates, things that are happening, big or small. It could be at this company or it could be industry-wide. But I hope to bring you updates that are relevant and important to help keep you in the know. And with that, I want to invite you to click the like, the subscribe, share it with your friends, tell people about this because it's going to be fun. Let me tell you that when you start to see some of these interviews and these guys and gals that have experience that'll blow your mind, get ready. So next week on our episode number 2, I am going to interview Derek Kivi, our CEO, my brother, and we are going to talk about the history of Kivi Bros Trucking. We're going to talk about how Derek, his story, what got him the bug, what kept him in trucking. We're going to talk about some of the things that we did together because we were kind of glued at the hip for a while. Until I moved to Kentucky, we did a lot every weekend, every day, night. It was trucking is deep. Like I said, our Christmas parties, our wives get extremely frustrated because all we talk about is trucking. So we're excited. He's excited. This is going to be fun. Let's get it going.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Keep Trucking Personal. We appreciate you taking the time to explore the heart and soul of Kivi Bros Trucking with us. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review to let us know your thoughts. Tune in next time as we continue our journey together, diving deeper into what makes us a community, a catalyst for positive change, and a home for those who aspire to be part of something truly extraordinary. Until then, keep trucking, and we'll catch you on the next episode.